Did you actually saw the
invite?
The invite, right? All right, cool. Oh,
yeah.
We're live. All right, cool, guys.
All right.
I appreciate you all being here this morning. We're at the F5 report. It's 8 a.m. Beautiful Tuesday morning outside here in New Jersey, and I'm joined by my good friend and dispositions manager, investment advisor. Man, you got Drew Conway. He's just a jack of all trades. Drew, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Excited to be on.
It's exciting to have you on because we haven't really done a show, talking real estate investing. And I think that you're the perfect fit for that because you're talking to real estate investors every day. And I think that, you being able to weigh in on what's going on in the market, real time understanding, there's some people that are watching that are maybe, they're thinking about buying a home. They're thinking about doing some more investments. A lot of our followers are real estate fix and flippers or wholesalers. So what do you see as, and real talk, because, we know we've had ups and downs in the last couple weeks here.
Yeah.
What do you see like right now going on in the market?
Yeah, I think, I think it's not a time to be paralyzed, by the fear of failure, but you need to be definitely extra smart and with kind of the moves that you're making.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of roadblocks that we're hitting that otherwise would be very just straightforward deals. And, it can get frustrating, but just like it's really, it's no different than anything else that's going on in the world right now. It's frustrating to go out to the supermarket. So why wouldn't it be frustrating to buy a house, whether it's as a buyer, meaning you're moving in, or if it's an investor and you've been doing this for 30 years, or you're somebody who finally saved up that nut to spend on your first deal. And now, so I think there's a lot going on, and it's, you need to make sure that, I guess, you're talking to people, you're talking with the right people, and everybody's situation is different. So you really just need to analyze it. But I don't think it's a time to be afraid. It's just a time to be extra smart.
I think it's interesting you say that. It's not time to be afraid, because I actually see, I'm seeing white papers go out from commercial brokers. I'm seeing, people closing deals still. Like, it's funny because we all regress and we think, oh my God, we're locked in the house. No one's going to do any business.
Right.
But yet there's still business going on. But there are some roadblocks, and talk specifically about that. Is it the process? Is it the paperwork? Like, what's holding things up? Because there's people out there that are literally sitting on the fence thinking, I've always wanted to be a flipper. I finally got my money together. I talked to my private lender, and boom, everything just came to a screeching halt.
Right.
Why did some of that stuff slow down, do you think?
Yeah, well, so I mean, obviously, lenders have to look from their point of view, right? They need to look from their risk view, and so a lot of their qualifications have just gotten tighter. But so one of the big roadblocks right now is the lending, right? So, but there's a lot of different places that offer a lot of different programs.
Yeah.
And certain places take more risk than others do. So just like anything else out there, different companies kind of, they work under different qualifications. So I think the idea is, don't get discouraged in your first, application and get shot down and say, no hard money lender is going to work with me, or no private lender is going to work with me. Everybody's different right now. Everyone's adjusting to it differently. So, keep hunting, keep looking. If you're hungry enough and you're talking to enough people, I think eventually you're going to find that person that's going to maybe even, believe in that and see that. And if you say, listen, I'm so passionate, and I have, I saved up $50,000. I'm ready to rock and roll, and I just need to find somebody who's willing to believe in me. I have this project. Here's who I'm buying it from. Like, so say you're working with our team. Here's a team who's qualified, who knows what they're doing, and I really see it. So just kind of keep pushing through that. Keep working towards it. Other roadblocks that we're seeing is just ones that are kind of out of our hands, and we just need to get creative. And that would be on the processing side, right? Just working with title. I mean, it's extremely frustrating. Myself and Brian Brogan from the team are dealing with it on a daily basis, where otherwise these deals will be just flowing right through. But I think that is, again, what separates working with a professional team or working with an individual that says that they're doing what we're doing. And God, we just had we had somebody who we had to go back and clear from 3 people ago, title issues, and you know what? We got it done. We found a notary. We talked with our title relationship. We got it done. So, um, and then some of another roadblock is just people don't even want to sell now. That you might have had a deal put together, and let's say there was somebody in there that maybe has health concerns, who said, "Oh, great, no, I've been trying to sell my place for forever." Now they're like, I can't move right now because I can't be out in the public. So, I think we just have to have a positive attitude with it. We can't sit back and feel sorry for ourselves. We need to just continue to talk with people.
Yeah.
And and get the job done kind of at the end of the day. If you want it bad enough, just keep going for it.
And we're finding a lot of workarounds, right? I mean, like, I don't want it to sound like the title companies aren't doing their job. They're actually working double time.
No, not at all. They're working double time. Yeah.
And they're getting stuck with, tax payoffs, community township offices closed and not getting back to them, courthouse limited occupancy and stuff like that. So I think that there's a lot of stuff that's like gumming up the works, but it's not gonna bring the train to a halt, right?
Yeah, I think it's actually making relationships stronger. To be honest, with sellers that I'm working with,
Agreed.
I just had a guy say to me yesterday, like, "Man, where else are you guys looking to?" I said, anywhere in South Jersey, we have a lot of investors that we're looking to bring together. He said, "Man, your diligence in getting this accomplished, it was awesome. I can't wait to work with you on my next property because
get that guy on video, Drew. Get him.
I know.
Get him on Facebook Live, man. I love it.
Well, we will because we're about to close up on that finally after about 4 weeks of red tape. But to blame. See that's a problem, and I think what everybody's starting to realize is we're kind of in this as a team, and I had been saying this from Jump Street is that everybody typically likes to figure out who to blame next.
Yeah.
And right now, there's nobody to blame next. So when you finally get to the top and you say, oh crap, there's really nobody that I can blame for this. It's just the situation we're in. Well, now you say, okay, instead of that, let's start talking together. How can we work as a team to get this accomplished? So
I mean, man, we're all in this together. And like I heard the best thing said last week that he said that it was on a podcast. He said this type of adversity is what shows us what we should have been doing all along, right? And the fact is, like in a bull market, everything's fucking great, hunky dory. Everybody's making money. Oh, it's wonderful. Mm-hmm. It's easy, right? And then we start to get lax. We start to get lazy. Every one of us too. I'm not pointing the finger at anybody. Title, mortgage, realtors. I mean, realtors have always been lazy. Let's be honest. But like for the most part, right? Like everyone's had it pretty easy. Now all of a sudden we got to come together and we got to solve fucking problems, right? We got to work together to figure out how to make this seemingly easy deal get to the closing table, and it's not easy. So those are out there that are buying or they're shopping. Maybe you're not professionally related to the real estate community. Understand this stuff's happening. It takes a lot more time. It's a lot more difficult, but it can be done. And folks like Drew can get you into those investment properties. Guys, if you have any questions, ask them below. Anything about real estate investing, fix and flipping, buy and hold. If you're buying your first property, if you're in the space right now, if you're buying or you're selling or you're a realtor, list it along the lines the right hand side. Drop it in the comments. We might bring somebody on live here if anybody's willing to. If anyone's feeling froggy this morning and wants to hop on and talk real estate with Drew. So Drew, tell me, you've dealt with thousands. We have thousands of buyers on a buyer's list, right? What does it look like now versus 4 or 5 weeks ago?
Sure. Yeah.
From the buyer side, from an investor side, activity-wise.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing much more. I don't want to say the serious investors because I think anybody who's interested in this space, I believe that in giving everybody a serious, fair shot. Right. I'm not here to tell you that you're not a serious investor, but I think more the people that are truly into this and really want to make it happen are like we said before, they're not being paralyzed by that fear of failure right now. They're not being paralyzed by all the scariness that's going on out there. They're doing the best they can to stick to what their vision is, what their goal is, understanding that what we're living in right now is only temporary. And those conversations I've had with those people are great because it's not, oh man, I can't believe we're stuck at home. I can't believe, oh man, my business is failing. It's like, what can we do right now? Like, what do you have available? I know that vacant properties right now, or what do you have vacant that we can just work on and just get done? I even have some awesome guys that are saying, Drew, I don't even need home runs. I want to keep my crews working. So
Yes.
the serious guys with crews that are like, they're flipping 30, 40, 50 to 100 houses a year. These guys are saying, Drew, I don't care. As long as I'm not losing money on this and I can pay my guys and keep them putting food on the table. That's all I need right now. So, it's the people that see the long-term vision of this that I'm finding are still the ones that I'm communicating with. And the people that are being able to make decisions that they're not dragging their feet on, that they're not, as we always say, kicking the tire.
Yeah.
They're saying, look, these numbers make sense. I know that we're not like running out and seeing 900 different places. These are the numbers that make sense. I did my due diligence on it. Let's go ahead. Let's lock it up under contract. Because one, I don't want to lose it because right now it's very scarce. I don't want to lose it. I'm going to make the move now. And we're always happy to do that and say, hey, listen, this deal is contingent on a final walkthrough.
Yeah.
I have people locking up deals all day long that aren't even seeing places.
Yeah.
It's people that are willing to make those decisions for themselves and for their teams.
I think you're bringing up so many great points right now. I want to pause you for a second because there's like 4 things I want to cover. Number one is what you're saying is your numbers, your margins, and you know what type of risk you can take, right? For some people, stopping altogether is a bigger risk than taking something with a smaller margin to keep everybody working, right? If you know you have spread, you can assume the market's going to do certain things, but unless the complete bottom falls out of it, you should still have enough spread to make a deal work, right? The second piece I want to touch on is we love dealing with the mom and pop and the startup flippers, the ones that are doing 3, 2, 4, 6 deals a year, right? Because the reality of it is when we're having those conversations with those guys, like they're not as stuck on their ego and stuck on, I've been doing this for 10 years and this is how you got to buy it, blah, blah, blah. Like they're willing to go an extra $2 or $3 grand to make a deal work because they realize that they have better margins, they have less overhead, they have better ability to close that deal, right? And they're working with private lenders, so it's a lot easier. It's not hard money or overlays involved. So the startup flippers really are an awesome market because they get to listen to you and they get to take your advice and without that mask of ego. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I love that piece to it.
Yeah, everybody's a little different, right? Exactly that. Some people have the experience and, we all have a little ego that comes along with experience, but some people are the other way and they're willing to do a deal where they can, if they can make 15, 20 grand, they're happy, they're happy as a clam. And it's, and then other guys are like, look, I got to make at least 50 or 60 on this to pay everybody and pay overhead and this, that. So yeah, we got something out there for everybody. And it's just about finding that right person and finding us and finding that right deal.
So Dana says commercial sales are still working. Buyers have money and they're looking for portfolio pieces. Can you speak to that a little bit? I know we have, you're working individual, residential, commercial, multifamily. So I know you have a bunch of stuff working. Anything in that regards?
Yeah, I mean, portfolio pieces. Dana, give me a call. I love people that are looking for a portfolio because it's it can be rare. Portfolios sound great on paper, but it can be a little tough because portfolios don't. Not everything in the portfolio necessarily is a home run, and I find a lot of people try and pick them apart as opposed to looking at it as a whole portfolio. So anybody looking to talk portfolio, I have a seller right now that I'm working with who's putting together quite a large, well, not a large portfolio, but a larger portfolio and a million plus, and they're looking to get deals done. So I mean, again, this is great. This is about finding everybody's in a different spot. So finding people and connecting people, and that's what we do. So please reach out.
I think it's interesting too, Drew. Like I don't think a lot of people, except for your close buyers, understand just the plethora of opportunity with, single family fix and flip, turnkey single family. We have self-storage development deals. We have land development deals. We have multifamily deals on the books. We have, all this different variety of potential opportunity for different investors. And, the interesting thing is it's like trying to pick out who's really still doing this thing, who's kind of burying their head in the sand. So for a lot of buyers, I say to them, I was on a call yesterday with a guy, as a matter of fact, who's a legit buyer. This guy's been around for a long time. He's like, things are slowing down. I'm not sure what to do next. And I said, are you on a list of a wholesaler? He said, oh my God, are you kidding me? I get 62 emails a day from wholesaler. Okay, cool.
Right.
How often do you find a deal that comes across your plate and you say, man, I would buy that thing. The guy's asking 80. The guy's asking 100. I'd pay 85, but I'm not going any higher than that. Yet you don't make the offer, right? You don't engage. Right. You don't respond. So folks, I think it's important to know that a guy like Drew, his job is to make a deal work for somebody, right? So whether it's offered at 100 or not, make the offer at 85, make the offer at 90, make the offer at 70, right? Because until Drew knows the best number from the investor, right, then it's impossible to go back to the seller and figure out where we have to be to make the deal work, right? So Drew's a magician of numbers. His job is to make the numbers work, create a spread so that the business makes money, and we create a win-win-win, right? It's a win for the buyer, a win for the seller, and a win for us. It's got to be a win for all three around. But here's the cool part. It's the consistency of deals, right? Drew wants to work with people from a long-term relationships perspective. He wants to be doing deals. Here's the cool thing, guys. 15 years in wholesale, I've been doing this. I probably sold the same 50 buyers properties over the last 15 years. It's the same repetitive people that keep coming back, right, Drew? I mean, you see sometimes that outlier, buying it for end use or buying it for, their kids or something like that. They're not going to be a professional flipper. But for the most part, you got a lot of repeat buyers.
Yeah, no, and I tell people the best way too, to touch back on what you were saying, it's engage with me because, like you said, we have thousands of people on our list. So while, yes, every single conversation that I have and every buyer I value, engage with me, bug me and say, hey, here's my offer, and just keep doing that. Eventually, you're never going to hurt my feelings when it comes to that. I think people, I don't own the house. I'm not even I'm not the realtor on the house. What I'm trying to do is create a deal. So you're not going to hurt my feelings. At the end of the day, I'll tell you if it works or if it doesn't. And a lot of times I might even say, I don't know if it works. Give me a little bit. Yeah. So, the more that you're in my ear, what's the old saying? The squeakiest wheel gets the oil or whatever, the more that you're in my ear, the more that I'm going to think about you as deals come forward. And you might be the person that needs a little bit tighter of a margin. I talk to people all day and say, listen, I have a team. I have an overhead. Drew, I really need that home run deal. Okay, I have you in that category. I have some people that are like, Drew, if you get something that is quick and easy and doesn't require a ton of capital to fix, that's my sweet deal because I only have about $15,000, $20,000 for repair. But if I can make $10,000 off of it, I'm so happy. So, don't assume that, you're lowballing me. Look, there are some lowballers out there. You probably know who you are.
Yeah.
But, but reach out, man. Just reach out. And I always say the best way to get on the VIP list of a wholesaler, especially a wholesaling team, is buy something.
Yeah.
Straight up, just buy something. I'm not saying that you need to, if you sit around waiting for grand slams all day long, you're never going to find yourself being the first guy called when that grand slam comes in. Because I'll promise you, if you buy one or two deals from us that are you said, hey, look, I know that the number's not amazing on this, but I know you did all you can to get the seller down to where they are and still create a spread for your team. I'm going to move forward with it because I know I can make a couple bucks on this, especially the guys now. There's nothing more honorable to me right now than somebody saying, look, I don't need a home run. I need to keep my team working. It's not about me making money right now. It's about me staying afloat. You better believe those people are at the top of my list, especially coming out of this. So I think that the message there is just communicate, ask, make offers. We keep going back to don't be paralyzed by the fear of failure. Don't be worried, is this going to be the best deal in the world? Am I going to come out of this feeling like the ultimate champion? It's not what it's about. It's about doing multiples, forming these relationships with serious wholesale teams like ours, and being that first guy in Cherry Hill, and I want this and go, become that guy that I call, the first person I call when I get a deal in Cherry Hill. That's really what forming a relationship with a wholesaler is about. Once it goes to the website, you better believe there's 1,000 other people that are seeing it. So be the guy that's on that VIP list.
Yeah, have a conversation too, right? What frustrates me too is people that think that they can do business, never talk to anybody, never pick up the phone.
Right.
Guys, nobody buys a house over text, right? Like, we might spark the conversation. We might be talking to the seller, texting them, when can you chat, blah, blah. We're not buying the house over text. We're not selling the house over text. You know how
Or
many
send
people are like,
75, or just
yeah,
send the number 75,000. Like, come on, man, call me.
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah. But what does that mean? Is that based on
Right.
the condition, based on the reporting you
Sure.
saw, based on the comps you saw? Like, where does that come from? Some people just want to feel like they have a deal. It's
Yeah.
like, if you're asking 80, I'm going to give you 70. Well, that doesn't necessarily matriculate. Sometimes these deals hit and they're sold before they ever see the list, right? And then
Right.
you're the guy
Absolutely.
thinking to yourself, man, I wish probably was a good deal at 80. Maybe I should have bought it at 80. It's like, it's too late. It's too late. The action takers are always going to win. And even in a tumultuous market, take the action and follow up, right? And then see,
Yep.
where that deal brings you and what that opportunity brings you. You're always one deal away from stacking that next piece, right? From growing to that next level. How about there's so many people I think that have never been creative with their lending, with their financing, with finding deals, with what they're going to do on the back end. We put a lot of deals together with JV partners, right? I mean, what about the people that are out there that are like, I don't have subcontractors, right? I don't have the wherewithal to flip the property, but I have $100,000 in my self-directed IRA, right? Or even an IRA that's not self-directed yet. They have the leverage, but they're looking for the team. What would you say to somebody like that?
Yeah, I mean, guys, that's a big portion of what we can offer, right? So working with a serious team of a serious wholesale team isn't just some dude sitting in a Dunkin' Donuts trying to make $2,000 by picking something off the market and selling it to you because you didn't find it first. Like, a serious team is here to bring value to you. So if sorry, every time I say serious, my Siri keeps thinking I'm asking the question. Working with us, like, just communicate and just say that. Say, Drew, here's where I'm jammed up. The price looks like it works for me, but I'm afraid that my repairs, I have no relationships, and I'm looking to get into this. And that's one of the awesome things to work with us. Man, Joe, how many houses have you flipped? With your company, how many relationships have you formed over the years? People that we can get you in contact with, and when you say, "Oh yeah, I got a deal from the South Jersey Wholesale Deals and Evangelistic Group, and they told me to give you a call. They said that you were the guy to call for cabinets." That person's going to appreciate that we, one, sent them the business. Two, they're going to know that you're probably going to communicate with us. So, and we're not trying to send people to people that are looking to rip people off. So look, again, it's just about connecting people. So whether we're connecting a seller with you as a buyer, or we're connecting you as a buyer investor who needs which one that comes up that's not all the time, right? Like, oh man, I ran into some weird problem. I don't even know who to call here.
Yeah.
Then call us. We guarantee I have 2 or 3 people you can call that will get the job done. So again, I think it's about working with the right people that are truly looking to help you get the job done, and that makes all the difference and brings all the value.
Yeah, and I'll end it on this. I think that the one of the most powerful things about your particular team is the ability to solve problems, right? I mean, we have very few people even realize that we have probably 6 or 8 projects going on that are entirely JV operated with our partner buyers who needed the combination of creativity to get the deal done, but also wanted the upside of doing a flip. So we have a lot of great contractor partners that are in deals like that.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people where we're solving problems that people never even thought were solvable. We have sellers that are coming to us, spend 3 years in the market with 3 different realtors trying to get a deal done and gets the deal finally sold. So I think it's the creativity behind what it takes to put some of these deals together that is totally outside the box thinking from a lot of quasi investors or wholesalers out there. I think that's what makes your team special, and it's going to make you guys survive through this whole COVID-19 epidemic, pandemic, whatever they call it. So, Drew, any questions I missed? Last call for questions. If you guys want your wholesale investment, any type of real estate questions answered, post them below. Anything I missed, Drew? Anything I didn't cover?
No, I think we cover most of it there, Joe. I think it's we're still excited to be working with people. Obviously, we're working in a little bit of a different environment, but we're making it happen, and we're still providing value to people, and that's what we thrive on. So, don't hesitate to reach out, please. If you just reach out, you can call me on my personal cell phone, and if you have any questions, or even if you're working on a deal right now and you feel a little stuck or jammed, give me a call. I'm more than happy to help you, because I know that there's always future value and a relationship to be built there. So, yep, don't hesitate to reach out.
Love it, man. Guys, if you found value in today's show, all we ask you to do is share it with other folks out there. Maybe they're interested in buying and selling real estate, or just want to learn, right? That's the beauty of being jammed in our house, is getting better and coming out of this thing on the other side as a better, all well-rounded human being. So, Drew Conway, I appreciate you being on the show today, brother. And
thanks, Joe.
Catch up with you soon, man. Thank you.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks, man.